All right, welcome into the Kodiak Broncos Podcast. I am the Kodiak, and today I'm here to talk about Tyler Warren and whether or not he'd be a great fit for the Denver Broncos heading into the 2025 NFL Draft in April, because it's the bye week. I know we didn't have anything to talk about this week, so here we go talking about our first draft prospect on this channel, and it's going to be Tyler Warren. And I just want to say, leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're not already. Going to be talking about the Broncos for the rest of the season, the offseason, and going forward. So yeah, follow me on Twitter if you like my stuff here. Let's dive right into it. So a lot of people, you wonder, why does everybody want a tight end, wide receiver, and running back upgrade this offseason? It goes without saying, I just had to put this on here first, that this stat, just look at it, just keep looking at it. Yeah. And all I have to say is that those guys, Adam Trautman, Lucas Krull, Nate Adkins, they are reliable players. They are not difference makers as vertical threats, don't get me wrong, but they're not going to whiff on the block if you need them to make a catch on, 3rd and 8. If you target them, if you give them one of their 4 targets collectively throughout the game and they're wide open, they're not going to drop the ball. They're not like Greg Dulcich, who just blatantly played himself out of a job. I'm kind of half kidding when I pulled up that slide, but seriously, that is inexcusable production for a tight end room, but we really need skill position upgrades. So going forward with Bo Nix, we know that he is the franchise quarterback. There has been way too much evidence this year to say that, okay, he deserves the chance to proceed forward as our quarterback for, however long. And the only question now is, how do we compete with Baltimore? How do we compete with Buffalo? How do we compete with Kansas City? Because, as good of a season as we've had, when everybody was projecting us to be a non-playoff team, get another top 5 pick, and have one of the worst records in the league, we're still not at the cream of the crop AFC level yet, and we're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. I think every Broncos fan who's realistic can say that. But we very well could be there if we, do all the right things the next 2 off seasons. And, the defense, it clearly does not need a high level of investment to perform. The only 2 guys that there's real investment in are Zach Allen and Patrick Surtain. Zach Allen obviously got a nice contract in free agency. Surtain was obviously the 9th overall pick in 2021. Other than that, Cooper just got extended. Bonitto is definitely going to get a bag next offseason. So this is a unit that doesn't really need much tweaking next offseason. Of course, there's still things that must be improved upon, but offense is what we should really hammer home next year. And for the most part this year, the skill position dudes have been pretty bad. Now, what I will say, I'm going to kind of walk back on this. The skill position dudes, they have been playing better. They have been playing more cohesively ever since, the middle of the year. I want to say that Saints game. We've seen a lot better skill position play than we were getting the first 5 weeks of the year, where I said that we probably easily had the worst skill position room in the league. But the talent we have at skill positions is really lacking compared to other good teams. If you want to take that next step, I think the only area of our roster that really needs improving is the skill position. That's what's holding us back from being, amongst the AFC contenders and being amongst the Super Bowl favorites every year. And Sutton, he is a good player. He is a good NFL player. He is very proven. I'm pretty sure every Broncos fan is absolutely over the moon with what he has given us this year. The catches he's made, the production he's given us, 2nd in the NFL in receiving yards since the month of November began. I think every Broncos fan is more than thrilled with what he's given us, but he's 29 years old. So we need to start looking, if we really want to, take Bo Nix to the next level, if we really want to build around him and capitalize on, honestly, our window with him on his rookie contract, we need to build around him. And we have an O-line, we have a defense, we don't have skill position players. So how did we get here? Listen, the Broncos have completely barfed on pretty much every skill position pick since 2012 besides Sutton. So I'm going to read you some names. Try not to throw up or get massive PTSD when I talk about these guys. Monte Ball, Cody Latimer, Jeff Hireman, Devontae Booker, Carlos Henderson, Royce Freeman, Deshaun Hamilton, Noah Fant, Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, Javonte Williams. So you could say that, okay, Fant carved out a nice role in Seattle. Jerry Jeudy, he, has carved out a nice role in Cleveland. And, that's great. But based on what they did on the Broncos, none of these guys played to their draft position. Absolutely none of these dudes. Even the dudes that were 4th-round picks, like Deshaun Hamilton. He didn't give us anything hardly throughout his career in Denver. And he was expected to kind of have a role. And all these guys were drafted, earlier in the 4th or earlier. So, the propensity of having like even a 5 to 6 year starter, that never materialized for hardly any of these guys. Tight end is also a luxury that you can't afford when we've had no draft capital. Okay, so you trade for Russell Wilson and you trade for Sean Payton. Yeah, I would think that the Russell Wilson trade hasn't really worked out in a way that a lot of us were hoping, and that's kind of putting it lightly. But, when you have no draft capital, okay, you need to invest in premier positions. You need to obviously get a quarterback. You need to, spend your first pick in the 2022 draft on Nik Bonitto. And honestly, we just really haven't had the propensity to go out and get one. Dulcich was supposed to be ours, and he completely flopped here. So I think Denver organizationally needs a different philosophy for drafting and developing skill position guys, because this is not a Sean Payton thing. This is not strict to his coaching staff. This is not strict to our tight end coach right now. I don't even know his name, or our running backs coach, or our wide receivers coach. From the top down, something needs to change. We need to either develop guys better. We need to put them in better positions to succeed. And ultimately, I think that Sean Payton going forward is going to do a good job of that. Now, Tyler Warren, he is our opportunity to get a very unique wrinkle in our offense. So this is now time to talk about Tyler Warren. So he, coming into the college football landscape in 2020, was a 3-star recruit from Virginia. 21st ranked tight end in 2020, 13th ranked player in Virginia. There's some names he was behind in his recruiting class, like Eric Gilbert, Michael Mayer. I think those are the only two guys that ended up mattering. And Eric Gilbert, he only matters because he massively flailed out in college football. But he was a former quarterback in high school, and he actually threw lefty, which was fun for me to watch when I was watching him back in October. But yeah, I think that might throw some defenses for a loop at the NFL level. Regardless, James Franklin, he came out and said that, the fact that he played quarterback in high school, that allowed us to, have some different roles for him, especially when he was still developing. And in 2021, he was mostly used in wildcat packages, and in 2022 and 2023, he played a traditional tight end role. So yeah, the Steelers, they had Pat Fry, and Theo Johnson was also behind him, or ahead of him, last year in 2023. I actually think Theo Johnson didn't play in the Peach Bowl because he knew he was going to the NFL. He gets drafted by the Giants, so Tyler Warren gets his first chance to, step up and be the tight end 1 for Penn State. And in his first game as the tight end 1 at Penn State, he had 127 yards, and I think Penn State ended up losing that game, but he had 5 receptions, 127 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, he had 88 receptions, 1,062 yards, and 6 touchdowns this year with 23 rushes, 191 yards for 4 touchdowns. Now, the thing that's very intriguing about him is his versatility and the ability to line him up literally anywhere in the offense. So here's his snaps by position according to PFF. Quarterback 33, backfield 62, tight end 338, wide receiver 297, punter 1, kick return 2. So I included those special teams roles just because I wanted to let you know that, hey, there could be an avenue to him, earning time with the special teams. And, he also lined up at O-line 3 times. He also lined up as a traditional wide receiver. I think he lined up in the slot 228 times. I didn't include that on here because I just wanted to consolidate my notes. So I thought it was unnecessary to list offensive line 3 times when he's probably not going to be lined up there at all at the NFL level. But yeah, so here's why he's tight end 1 in the draft class. I know that there's great guys like Colson Loveland. I see a lot. And, Terrence Ferguson, Littleton's very own, Heritage High School's very own. I've got a personal connection to him. I actually sat next to his brother Philip in math class my senior year. Philip's a great dude, and I hope Terrence gets the chance to ball in the NFL. So basically, Tyler Warren, the ability that he provides is very, very unique because, we've had guys like Taysom Hill, but he's Taysom Hill put into a Call of Duty Zombies pack-a-punch machine. Now, if you're not familiar with COD Zombies, what pack-a-punching your gun does is it makes it way more powerful. And the ability to have a supercharged Taysom Hill can do a lot of really great things for a lot of offenses. I can't think of one offense that would not be thrilled to have a weapon like this on their team. He has legit NFL speed, absolute yak monster. Like, he has legit long speed. I'm talking about outrunning DBs from 50 yards downfield. And he blocks very, very pissed off. Like, the effort is there, but I've seen a lot of film guys say that he needs, like, more refinement, more polish in that regard. So, that'll be interesting to see how that works out at the NFL level. And 1,000 yards, that's a lot for a college tight end. I know that he's not even the leader because Harold Fannin at Bowling Green is going crazy, but he's like 200 pounds. He's not actually a tight end. But across 112 targets, Tyler Warren has 2 charged drops. That's pretty good. That shows that there is not a ball that he cannot catch that's thrown his way. Enormous catch radius, 6'6". I think he's either 6'6" or 6'7", 260. He is a nightmare. He's going to be a nightmare for any NFL defender to deal with. So let's watch some highlights. I'm trying to hit on the philosophical. So let's watch some highlights. I'm trying to hit on the philosophy, and for those of you who just want highlights, I'm here to provide that too. So this was not posted by me. This was posted by Break Shot Media on YouTube. So yeah. All right. So you're just gonna see that he has so much ability. You can throw him dump offs. You can throw him like legit vertical routes, and the versatility that he has is just something that this offense could really use. Yeah, overall, Drew's doing him a great job of getting these balls as well. Over the middle just comes too easy. And you'll notice that he's doing a great job moving the chains, like one-handed catch on 2nd and 3. I don't even know how you game plan for that when you're Kent State and you're just mismatched at every single position. Tyler Warren lined up as a quarterback, takes the snap, makes it into the red zone. Let's see. Yep, thread the needle right down the middle of the field. What else? Yep, once again lined up in the backfield. Because defenses have to respect his throwing ability. It's not like you line him up in the backfield and you have no idea what and you know what he's going to do. It's not a tell like it is with Justin Fields. Yeah, so there's just so much good on this tape. Yep, gets F open seamlessly. May have been a bit of a pick there, but this is the game I really wanted to hone in on because this showcased what Tyler Warren could really do. I think he had over 200 yards this game. He had 17 touches, just running over dudes. This is literally just not fair. Backside screen, way too easy with blockers out in front of him, making everybody on USC miss. Almost got a touchdown right there. Wheel route makes a dude miss, like legit yak ability. I'm telling you guys that this dude is crazy good. Man, so tough to bring down. This is one I really like. He makes a really nice catch in the end zone here. Yeah. So, all I can say is, I know that highlights aren't indicative of, what a player is going to be, because ultimately he's playing against college defenses. He's not playing against NFL defenders in this. He's not playing against consistent guys who he's going to be seeing on Sundays next year. But, the ability to do this at college level is very special. And, if there's one guy who's going to transition him to the NFL level, it is our very own Sean Payton. So, is it a perfect fit? Well, okay. Hear me out. I found this article from 2018 written by the Saints SB Nation blog. I think it's called Canal Street Chronicles. And the writer did a great job. By going into depth about Sean Payton and his history of tight end usage and production. And his consensus was, besides Jimmy Graham, Sean Payton, he doesn't really use or invest in tight ends because there have been a lot of really bizarre and obscure names that I'm sure you guys can think of. After Jimmy Graham, there were guys like Kobe Fleener, Jeremy Shockey, I think he either came before or after him, I can't even remember, Jawan Johnson. So the ability to use a tight end has always been there in the Sean Payton offense, but, other than Jimmy Graham, he has not really, thrown to these dudes. So outside of the 4 seasons when Jimmy Graham was the primary option, the top tight end in Payton's offenses averaged around 39 catches for 474 yards and 3 touchdowns. Even factoring in Jimmy Graham, the average only goes up to 64 catches for 750 yards and 6 touchdowns. And prospects, they are volatile. I fully recognize that there's a good chance he ends up being a top 10 to top 15 pick because this class is not as strong offensively as it was a year ago, where the first defender gets taken at 16 and one of the best tight end prospects ever in Brock Bowers falls to 13. And I think, stock rises up and down. There's a good chance that, we're completely out of his range. Maybe he is a top 10 pick by the time draft season rolls around. I don't know whether you're watching this on December 9th at midnight Mountain Time when I'm making this, or whether you're watching this the literal day before the draft, we just don't know. There's 5.5 months of a combine, a whole, off season for teams to make moves, mock drafts to drop, and industry experts to tell us what they've been hearing. So, what I'm trying to say is I think it's way more likely that Tyler Warren goes up rather than his stock goes down. Because I know prospects are volatile. We still have another 5 months of looking at this crop of players and determining where they're all going to go. The draft order's not even fully set yet. So, yeah. But we need to build around Bo Nix, and I was going to save this for the end. This is my flag plant. I want Tyler Warren on the Denver Broncos. So, Sean Payton, he literally created the Taysom Hill role, where you take a guy and you line him up everywhere. Now, Taysom Hill, the position he plays most on offense is tight end. But Tyler Warren offers you for so much offensive creativity. And the fact that, you have the ability to get that kind of guy on the Broncos is great. And I'm pretty sure that had New Orleans, been willing to dump Taysom Hill, I'm sure that Sean Payton would have been dialing and banging that line because, Taysom Hill is not just a gadget player. Like, yes, he is a gadget player, but I think gadget player completely undersells him because a lot of people saw that and they were just like, okay, how long is this truly going to work for? And he has survived through multiple quarterbacks. His role has survived through multiple head coaches at this point, multiple offensive coordinators. So that's just a player who he is. And he could be a huge fix to our third down and short yardage problem. We've been better on third down lately. Like, Bo Nix has been practically automatic on third down the past, 3-4 games or so. But early in the year, it was clear that we needed more over the middle of the field. And obviously, we're not a good short yardage team. We've been a really bad short yardage team this whole year. And the ability to have a guy who could maybe block and not tell the defense what he's going to do. Like, you could throw him out there at the tight end position and it couldn't be the propensity to not have it be an obvious tell that you're either going to block or throw is just a great ability that this offense definitely needs. Now, are we in a position to trade up? That's on you guys to decide because, obviously we're going to make moves this offseason. We still have a whole another month, hopefully more, of Broncos football left. But I want Tyler Warren on the Broncos. I think that what he could provide could be really, really good to this team. And, people go crazy over offensive skill position players because we're obsessed with highlights. We're obsessed with fantasy football. And this is the one time where I'm looking at an offensive skill position player and I'm like, okay, this guy has a chance to really, really take us over the top. Because if you can get Tyler Warren and he can develop into everything that you want him to be and hopefully more, I think that would do a lot of teams great. Like, no team would be upset with that. But that benefits no team more than the Denver Broncos. So, yeah, that does it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.